Well, hello there. Good morning, or good afternoon, or good evening, depending on where you are at this particular time. My name is Mark Idelman, speech language pathologist. I've been a speech pathologist for going on 46 years now, and I make these videos very often. And I share with you some very important principles of speech therapy, especially for aphasia. And one of the videos that I just did yesterday was on a subject called carryover. And carryover is when you teach a person something and they can automatically do it with training. So if you want to learn how to do anything, you follow a specific direction, you do it every day, you follow the directions, you do it, and if you do it, you practice it, then after a while it becomes second nature and automatic. Now you can do that in basketball or any particular sport there is. And the speech pathologist or the speech therapist is very, very concerned about carryover, because carryover is the real proof of the pudding, as many of us have been trained to think, that if we're going to teach something to somebody, that we want to see it occur automatically. Nothing wrong with that. In fact, that's one of the basic principles of speech therapy. That's what we all want. We all want to teach a person how to speak in a different way or in a better way, and we want to see them do it automatically. I mean, that's just what people think speech therapy is all about, and I would agree 1,000%. But I also want to share with you another idea, and that is that speech therapy. I wrote this down, so I want to make sure that I get it right. It's not 100% necessary carryover. Now, here's the thing you got to know: that when you're dealing with aphasia, carryover. You want to see carryover, you want to see automatic speech, but guess what? You never really know how long it's going to take. I've shared with you before that people with aphasia have a portion of the brain, which is the speech center, which has been affected and was injured during a stroke. And so what happens is that portions of the brain that are surrounding that area have to pick up the slack and have to do the work that the speech center in the brain did before. And guess what? It's not very good at that. It's not very good at it. But it does work. And with intensive training, the alternative portions of the brain in many cases can help develop the ability to speak again. But the problem is, it takes a lot more repetition. It takes a lot more intensity to get these words, get these phrases, get these sentences to an automatic level. So sometimes you just have to just keep working on it over and over again. I mean, I work with a lot of patients. There's some patients I work with for 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, and more. And they're making progress. They're definitely making progress. And they're able to talk better and better and better and better. But it's a slow process. You got to just expect it. It's a slow process. Okay? Now, one of the first things caregivers always want to know is, hey, Mark, when's my loved one going to finally be able to talk on his own without having me to stimulate him? And my pat answer is, I don't know. As stated previously, it's like, how long does it take to get over a cold? Sometimes it's overnight. Sometimes it's a week. Some people have a cold for months before it goes away. And so you never really know how soon carryover is going to occur with aphasia. Okay, so you got to know that carryover is something that you don't really need to be concerned about. You just don't need to be concerned about. What you need to be concerned about is the ability to stimulate the person with aphasia to speak in conversation. Now, that's what the teaching of talking is all about. It's about teaching them how to talk and interact with you. Not on an iPad where you say these words over and over again, or these phrases over and over again to a machine. Come on. Okay, that's not how to teach a person to talk. Talking is a human interaction. It's a human interaction, and everybody wants to think, well, let's give them the iPad. Let's go, and they try to adapt the iPad to the person. It just doesn't work. Okay? If you want to teach a person to talk, you have to get them into an interaction with you. Like this. Now, the major point of this particular video is simply this. We teach caregivers how to stimulate their loved ones with aphasia to speak. And what happens is that the people with aphasia are stimulated to speak and do speak. Maybe first in single words. Maybe in a couple of weeks or a couple of months, maybe they're at the 2 or 3 word level where they're talking at a 2-3 word level. And sometimes you have to cue them, and you do have to cue them. You may have to say the word or the phrase that the person with aphasia needs every time that person needs it. And if you want to engage them in a conversation, a lot of times you have to help them. You have to give them the words. You have to give them the phrase that they need to say. Now, when you do that, guess what? They're in the process of speaking. They're speaking to you. All right? Even if you cue them, even if you give them the words in a single word or a phrase, you're giving them the words to use, and they use them. So you're getting them into conversation again. You're getting them into the way to talk with another person. Now, if you have the family over for dinner, and you have the caregiver and the person with aphasia at the dinner table, and you've got, let's say, the kids over there. The care partner can help stimulate the person with aphasia to answer questions as well as ask them. So guess what? The person with aphasia is at the table and they're interacting. Interaction. Most people with aphasia just sit there and say nothing, and there's a conversation all around them, but they are left out. And when a person with aphasia is left out of a conversation, it affects them. It affects them mentally. It affects them psychologically. It affects them emotionally. They don't feel like they're involved. They don't think that people are interested in them. Now, the unfortunate thing is that conversation goes very quickly. It's very, very fast. And the person with aphasia needs time to comprehend what's said to them, and then they have to go inside their brain and try to construct an answer. And that's like that's like a mule. I mean, they go slow, and that's just how it is. But the other people at the table, they're talking like Ferraris, okay? And the person with aphasia takes a long time to recall a word or recall a phrase. So guess what? So we teach the caregiver how to help the person answer a question. We teach a caregiver to help give the person with aphasia the words that they may need in the situation. Now, when we do that, the person with aphasia expresses himself or herself. Even if it's cued, they express themselves. And then the person with aphasia is not locked up and silent and feels like they need to avoid the situation or go into the other room and watch TV. They're included. And you know, even if you had a person with aphasia who couldn't talk and you could cue them and they could talk, that would still be great because the person with aphasia would be interacting. Even if they would be mimicking what the caregiver was saying or helping them say. The person would be interacting, conversing, talking. Now, when you do that, that's what talking is. What better therapy would there be than that? Would it be sitting down with an iPad? No. Would it be flashcards? No. Would it be worksheets? No. They have nothing to do with sitting down at the table and sharing stuff with the family or asking questions. Now, here's the last thing I want to say to you, okay? I work with this one great gentleman, okay, and his wife, gosh, she's the one who said, my husband and I do more talking now than we ever have before in over 30 years of marriage, okay? And this guy has aphasia. And she has helped cue him to talk for like 2 or 3 years. And now he's talking. Does he still need some help? Of course he does. And now he has a group of questions that he keeps by the phone so that when he talks to his daughter, he asks her how her day was, how things are going at work, you know, how's the new house, how's the husband, you know, what's new, how's the weather. And he had all of these questions written down, but he doesn't need them anymore. I mean, they're still there as a cheat sheet in case he needs them, but he doesn't need them anymore because he's been cued. He's been stimulated to speech, and he hasn't been left there struggling to say words or phrases. That's what we do. We cue them. We give them the words they need so they don't have to struggle. And we give them the words they need over and over again. And guess what? After a while, they start using those new words. It's wonderful. But as far as carryover is concerned, you don't have any bearing on carryover. We don't know how long it's going to take for carryover to occur. It occurs, but we don't know how long it's going to take. We just don't know. So in the meantime, get the person with aphasia talking and conversing. And then their life takes on a meaning again, instead of being silent, not being able to talk, being avoided by friends, being avoided by family because nobody knows how to talk to them. So that's my message today about carryover. Don't be concerned about how fast it's going to take because we don't know how long it's going to take. We just don't know. And I'm being completely transparent here. We don't know. But we do know that intensive speech and language stimulation fosters automatic speech. And as far as how long it takes to get the automatic speech, nobody knows. But you got to stimulate it. You got to stimulate it all the time, even if you have to cue them. And just do that. They'll be happier. They'll be happier anyway. They'll be happier. They'll be happy. They'll be happier because they're involved and they're talking. Even if you have to help them talk, they're talking. And that's a process that people do for years and years and years and years. And then all of a sudden speech gets interrupted by a stroke and then they can't talk anymore. Imagine being able to talk and all of a sudden it's gone. Well, guess what? People with aphasia, they want to get back talking. They want to be able to talk, even if they have to repeat it after a caregiver. It's better than nothing. This is Mark Ittleman, speech-language pathologist, reviewing some very new concepts and ideas in speech therapy, and welcoming you and thanking you for stopping by. Beneath this video is a description of the video, and please, if you like it, give me a thumbs up. Subscribe, please, if you'd like to subscribe and really learn about cool stuff related to aphasia and to realize that you can do a lot more than people think you can. You know, most of the time caregivers get completely neglected, get left out of the whole process. They're unempowered. They aren't taught what to do at home, and it's a darn shame. But the teaching of talking, we developed that because we saw that happening in the field and went, this is crazy. You got to teach the caregiver. To us, the caregiver is one of the only answers. Because the more stimulation a person with aphasia gets, the faster the return. So please, if you'd like some more information, hit underneath the video, the Teaching of Talking link, and go there and sign up for the free videos and blogs. And also there's a questionnaire down at the bottom. Please click on that and fill it out. And if you'd like some expert mentoring that will teach you what I know, will teach you the techniques that I know that help people talk who have aphasia, just click on it, fill it out, send it to me. I'll get back with you. So this is Mark Ittleman, speech-language pathologist, thanking you for stopping by and hope to see you soon. Bye-bye now.